Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to the Operation Heal 100 channel where we do what? Focus on healing, humor, and topics. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are here, please hit the thumbs up on this video. Please hit the thumbs up before you go any further and stick around. Stick around because I want to hear your commentary and your feedback after you hear my commentary on this Dear Deja letter. Let's get it going. Dear Deja, I am a 46-year-old hot girl. I am literally in the best shape of my life. I have a damn good job. I have a practical and dream car. I own my home. I bet on sports and win. I travel. I'm kid free and I'm fabulous. I love my life now. I didn't always. When I was 27 years old, I lost the love of my life and fiance in a very horrific motorcycle accident 3 months before our wedding. If you've ever loved and lost, then you'll know how traumatized I still am behind his death. I also kind of feel like I stopped growing emotionally since he's been gone. I haven't been able to maintain an adult relationship since then. So if I'm being honest, for the last 20 years, it's been smash and pass. About 6 months ago, I ironically met a 27-year-old who has made me feel 27 years old again. So me and this YN has been spending a lot of time together. Last month, I went to my annual GYN appointment and was horrified to find out I'm 11 weeks pregnant by my YN. Deja, I'm the rich auntie, not the mature mother. Not to mention, I'm already planning for 50 and fabulous in a few years. I can't slow that down to plan a baby shower or to raise two children because a 27-year-old is a baby in my eyes. I'm thinking I should stop doing him, terminate this pregnancy, and get back to being fabulous. But a part of me feels like everything happens for a reason, and maybe this is happening for a reason. Hell, maybe it's the hormones talking. Deja, please help me. Sign. See what happens when you fuck with a YN. Ooh, child, let me take a sip of my water. I had to drink the whole doggone cup right there. The rest of that water. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. All right, all righty then. I guess I'll start it off by saying congratulations. Babies are blessings. Babies are blessings. So congratulations. Let's start there. Babies are blessings. So congratulations. We'll definitely start there, right? That's one. Two is that we share the same sentiment when I hear you say everything happens for a reason. I'm a firm believer in that as well. So I get it. I definitely get it. And I do feel like everything does happen for a reason. Everything does happen for a reason. I'm so sorry about your loss. I'm so sorry about your loss. I'm so sorry about your loss because it sounds a little bit like emotionally that might have stunted you losing your fiance when you were younger. But I'm happy to hear that you got your swagger back and you start back participating in life again because that's important. That's important. Being able to push forward and move on is very important, especially in moments of adversity. So I'm so sorry that you lost your fiance, but I'm so happy that you were able to kind of push forward and move on and live your best life, right? Um, two. So, first off, how did this pregnancy happen? Meaning, like, don't tell me that you was in there sleeping with him without a condom, letting him come in you, and then wishing on a star. Because then I'm gonna have to assume that you wanted this baby, right? If you was doing all of that and not doing anything to prevent it, right? So I will be asking, how did this baby get conceived? Meaning, were you using protection and then bust? But what was going on there, right? And like I said, I would have to assume you wanted this baby, so don't play no games, right? The other part about it is I don't think it's fair to say that a 27-year-old is a baby, right? Because if you're gonna say that, then the indication is that you're calling the YN immature, right? And I think that you knew he was 27 before you got in bed with him. So to say now he's immature is not fair to him because you knew that going into this situation. So is that what you wanted, right? But the other part about that is, which I know I'm going to play devil's advocate, and I know that's probably what you would be arguing is one thing to sleep with a person, it's another thing to have a baby with them. So I get you there. I would definitely get you there, and I will understand where you're coming from. I just would have to give a little bit of pushback and say, but when you sleep with people, you do know that that could be a possibility, right? That y'all can conceive a baby, even if it's unintentionally. I'm just saying. But in any event, I think the first step is trying to figure out what you want to do, which y'all know my famous line, make a pros and cons list. Make a pros and cons list. Sorry about that, guys. Make a pros and cons list. You know, that's always my number one go to, because then it's like, okay, I'm seeing what's good, what's bad, what's outweighing what, and that kind of can help me gauge the decision I need to make. So I would suggest making a pros and a cons list. It sounds as though you may have already done that and the cons, in your opinion, outweighs the pros. Now, if that is the case, right, if you've already done so and you've already made your final decision, you have to have a conversation with this gentleman. Now, see, the hard part about having these conversations is, one, you are the person who is pregnant with the child. So you ultimately can make the final decision, right? But it's also unfair to the other person because they helped conceive the child. So they want to be a part of and agree with what the final decision is. And sometimes that's not always. So you have to be open to hearing him out if, as you indicated, you've made your final decision, right? So something you say here was like, you think you should just leave him alone, terminate the pregnancy, yada, 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 right? If that is your final decision and what you plan on doing, then of course you can share that with him, but you have to be open to hearing him out and how he feels, even if you don't change your mind about what you're going to do. Because in all fairness, he was a part of conceiving this baby. So to just dismiss his feelings regarding the baby that he helped conceive is not fair to him. It's not fair to him. So you can do him the courtesy with, and I think you should, of hearing him out and whatever his feelings is. He may be on board with you. He may be on board with you and say, "Ooh, child, all right, I was thinking the same thing. Where we going? Planned Parenthood? Let's roll." You know what I'm saying? So he may be on board with you. If he's not on board with you and he have a difference in opinion and feelings, then you have to be open to hear him out, right? Because I think one or two things can happen. Either A, hearing him out and seeing how much he's passionate about wanting a baby and so on and so forth may change your mind. Or B, is hearing him out and saying, "Oh, well, I got to do what's best for me. And I was leaving you alone anyway after this. Peace out, deuces." But again, this person helped conceive this baby. So they should at least be able to share what they feel about you being pregnant. Right. Once again, I am with you when you said everything by God's design and everything happens for a reason. I'm with you there. I'm with you there. And I personally feel like there is a part of you that wants to keep this baby. Because if your final decision was all of the things that you listed and you was going on and handling your scandal, you would not be writing a Dear DJ. So I personally feel like it's a part of you that wants to keep this baby. I just think it's some fear surrounding developing all of these feelings for a baby and another man and having your whole world come crashing down, because that's what happened the last time. That's what I feel. I feel like you went through such a traumatic situation with your fiance and his unfortunate accident, and I feel you really, really love this person and was in love with them and look forward to a future with them. And I think there's some fear surrounding opening yourself up like that again and not knowing if something like that can happen again. And that's fair. That's totally fair to have some fear regarding that situation. I get it. I get it 100%, right? But we cannot live our life in fear over what happened before. We cannot operate from the past. It is what it is. What happened, happened, and you have to press forward. And it seems like in your life for the last 20 years, pressing forward looks like avoiding any intimacy so you don't have to feel that again. Because you see what you said, you were basically emotionally unavailable. For the last 20 years. It's been smash and pass. And it sounds like it's smash and pass because you don't want to feel again what you felt before, to be disappointed again. Is that the life you want to live? Shutting yourself down and off, um, emotionally completely, because you think that what happened before will happen again. You never know what will happen. You never know what will happen. I don't know if you guys remember, but and I don't know how long you've been watching the Adija, right? But there's normally when I'm on camera, which I promise you guys, as soon as I get my StreamYard fixed, I'm coming back on camera. I promise. Sorry, that was a sidebar. But anyway, what I was saying is that when I'm on camera, I have a quote that's in the back of me, right? And it says, "What if I fall over, my darling? What if you fly?" And that's a half of a quote from Erin Hansen. And the whole quote is, "There's a freedom waiting for you on the breezes of the sky, and you ask, what if I fall over, my darling? What if you fly?" Right? And the reason why I love that quote and I put that quote up in the back of me is because that's up in my apartment, period, is because that's my message to myself. Every single time that I feel, I'm talking about the emotional, every single time that I feel like I can't do something, I tell myself, you cannot be afraid. You cannot be afraid. You cannot be afraid. You cannot tell yourself, what if you fail? Because what if you fly? I don't know why this letter's making me emotional. But anyway, like I was saying, I'm basically saying the same thing to you, is that you thinking that what happened in your past, you have to live with for the rest of your life, and living with that makes you fearful. You don't need to be fearful. You don't need to be fearful, because the same way you survived what happened before, if something happened this time, you'll survive that as well. You'll survive that as well. But what if nothing happens? Or what if what does happen is the best thing to you and for you? So I think trying to operate from your past has really, really, really stunted your growth. And I think that God wants you to push forward and grow and live your best life. So because of that, He's giving you a new leash on life, a new opportunity, another chance at love, you know? And I feel like that's why He's giving you the baby, to show you you can open up your heart again. I won't hurt you this time. Right? And I think you have to believe that in order to push forward. So, with that being said, my dear, I know you said a lot of cons in your letter, and a lot of things to lead me to believe that, this is not something that you think would be a good idea, right? Um, I think when things are not good ideas, in God's eyes, He protects you from them, and the fact that God has given you a baby makes me feel like you don't need to be protected. You need to push forward. And this is Him giving you an opportunity to do so. You now have a love child. So, also with that being said, let me say this, right? Because I don't know what's your relationship with the YN. I totally get that he's younger than you, but it sounds like, you like him, you care about him, what's your relationship there? Now, again, children don't necessarily and always make people fall in love, right? But the fact that it progressed to that point may suggest that you guys are in love already. I don't know. You didn't talk much about your feelings for the YN, right? You just talked about how you quote unquote got jammed up, right? But I think it's more than that. I think it's more than that. And I think that maybe you should explore those feelings, especially if you guys are going to have a child. So it's something for you to think about. It's something for you to think about. I don't know if you're the type of person that wants to be in a relationship with a person in order for you guys to have a child together. I don't know if you're the first type of person that says, listen, we don't got to be together, but we can co-parent. Well, I don't know what that looks like for you. You know, what I will say is this, whatever it looks like for you, make sure it's for you. Make sure you're happy. Make sure it's something you want. If you saying you know in your heart of hearts that you don't want to be with this person and you don't want a baby, hmm, then that's okay. That's okay. You do what you need to do. But if you're only saying that because you're afraid or you're fearful or you're nervous or you're thinking about what happened before, then that's not a clear headspace to make a decision from. Whatever decision you make, it has to be what you want. Okay? Because at the end of the day, no matter what, God wants you to be happy. And I think that this situation is God trying to bring you your happiness. But only you know what's best for your life. So, in any event, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you stuck around. I hope you stuck around. I hope you stuck around. Because if you have stuck around, then you can leave your commentary in the comment section about the feedback I gave this young lady for Dear Deja. My dear, my lovely letter writer. I would suggest, and you let me know if this is doable for you through email. I would suggest coming to get your one-on-one session before you make your final decision. That would be my suggestion. I would suggest coming to get your Operation Heal 100 Hearts one-on-one session before making your final decision, because this is a lot. This is a lot. This is a big decision. And once again, I would love to know that you're making it from a clear headspace and not from a fearful one. You know, and if you need for me to read to you again, I can read it to you when you come for your healing heart session, but I'll do it again here and give you the meaning behind it. I'm so sorry for getting emotional over your letter. That's not fair. That's my own shit coming up. Pay me no mind, girl. But anyway, there is a freedom waiting for you on the breezes of the sky. And you ask, what if I fall over my darling? What if you fly? It's a quote by Erin Hansen. You know, and again, like I said, what it means is that, you know, sometimes we can um be met with situations and we get nervous and we get afraid thinking that everything is going to go wrong. And the quote is just saying, but what if everything goes right? You know, what if you actually make it? What if this actually is a good thing? Right. And it's about having faith and believing that you deserve good things and that good things are coming to you and for you, you know? So let's try to open up our minds to that possibility that this could be something good. But I can't pick for you. I could only help you choose what's best for your life from a clear headspace. So come get your Operation Heal 100 Hearts one-on-one session. All righty then, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have hit the thumbs up. I want to hear all of your feedback and thank you for tuning in. Enjoy your day. Bye-bye.